Naturalist Brianna here at Woodlake Nature Center, and to keep with our theme of wetlands for the week, today's creature feature is all about turtles. Did you know that there are 9 different species of turtles that live throughout Minnesota? And 2 of the common ones are painted turtles and snapping turtles. What I'm holding here right now is a common snapping turtle, and this is probably a turtle that you've seen around a pond or a river in your neighborhood perhaps. These guys here look very similar to modern day dinosaurs, and they are a type of reptile. What makes them a reptile is that they are covered in scales, they hatch out of eggs, and they are ectothermic or cold-blooded. This common snapping turtle here, one way that you can identify him is by his coloration. He's kind of uniform gray all over, has some pinkish grayish skin, but the dead giveaway is his spikes or scoots on his tail and his shell. You can kind of see those spiky scoots on the back end. And you can guess that they use their shell for protection. This definitely looks like armor, or maybe even something you've seen similar to a helmet. And so turtles are able to kind of pull their arms and legs and tail inside of their shell for protection. However, something you'll notice about this snapping turtle, his top shell or carapace is pretty large, looks pretty sharp and scary. But I'm going to flip him over and show you his undershell, or his plastron, and you can see actually how teeny tiny it is. It looks pretty cute. And so if he were to get flipped over upside down, he wouldn't really be able to protect his belly that great. And so they use something else on their body for protection. Can you guess what that might be? Exactly right. Their mouths. That's where they get their name, snapping turtles. This guy right here is not trying to snap me right now. He knows that I don't mean him any harm, and he's actually still pretty young. He's only about 3 or 4 years old, so he doesn't have that snapping instinct yet. However, you can see how long his neck is. If he wanted to, he could definitely reach that neck back over and reach my fingers here. So you always want to be careful when dealing with snapping turtles. The best thing to do is if you come across them crossing the road or a path, just give him plenty of space and observe and just enjoy watching him in his natural habitat. If it's a much larger snapping turtle, they can grow to be maybe 10 inches, 12 inches across in shell diameter, maybe up to 30 pounds, pretty large. You definitely are not going to want to pick that guy up. Best thing to do if you feel like he's in danger, you can use a shovel or maybe a car mat to kind of help drag him across the road the direction that they were going. Snappers and turtles in general usually have a range or a radius that they stay in. They know where they want to go, so you always want to help them across the direction that they are already heading. This guy here also has pretty long claws on his feet. He uses those claws not only to move on the ground, but also to kind of help tear apart his food, rip apart maybe worms or fish that he's eating. And turtles actually don't even have teeth. They have something called a beak, which is a really hard lip. It's made out of the same stuff that our nails are made of, that hard keratin. It would definitely feel like a hurtful pinch if you were to bite you. So keep those fingers away from their mouths because they definitely look like worms. Snapping turtles are great for wetlands. They're great for an ecosystem because they're kind of like the garbage haulers or cleaner uppers. They spend a lot of their time at the bottom of a lake eating dead things, decaying things, and they're really great at it. They love to eat and they grow fast. So, not great for a pet. If you were to see one of these in wild, please just leave them in their home, in their habitat, and enjoy them by coming back and visiting them at your local pond. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy down so you can kind of see him moving along, and then we'll grab out our other turtle that we're going to talk about today. Even above ground, they have some awesome camouflage. And in the water, they might look just like a rock or a log under water. They're excellent climbers too. It's not uncommon to see a mother snapping turtle crawl over chain link fences or logs to get to a place to lay her eggs. You can see the position of its nose. It's at the very tip of its head. That allows them to use their nose and that long neck like a snorkel when they're underground, rather than exposing their whole body above water. They can just stick that little nose above water, get a full breath of air, and then head back underwater. They can actually move pretty fast. All right, we're back at Wood Lake, and you've joined us for a really special event because today is our Snapping Turtle's Day to be released back into the wild, or back into Wood Lake where he was first found 4 years ago. Some of you might wonder how or where do we get a lot of our educational or ambassador animals at Wood Lake. Oftentimes they were found crossing a road. We're not really sure where they came from. And it's important that these guys are always released back into the area where they were found. We want to make sure when they're released that they're healthy, that they're in good condition, that they're not going to be reintroducing anything back into the pond. We also want to make sure we release them while they're still young, while they still have that instinct to hunt, and that they still will be able to brumate or hibernate, which is what it is for reptiles, or overwinter in our lake here and be just fine. So we have picked this spot here at Wood Lake to release this guy so he can head back in, live out the rest of his life happy and healthy after being a great ambassador animal to all of our school children that come here to visit Wood Lake. And so I'm just going to set him down a few feet away from the shore and let him decide when and if he is ready to head into the water. All right, I'm going to set him down a couple feet away from the marsh. Let him decide if and when he's ready to head into the water. His shell and his skin is already perfectly well camouflaged with the muck and mud of the marsh bottom and the dead cattails. He looks ready to head right in, checking out the water. Maybe seeing if there's any food to eat. Snapping turtles are very opportunistic, and it looks like he's already snapping at the cotton seeds that are in the water. They have powerful back legs to be able to push through the muck and the shallow bottoms, using that tail as well to push and steer. He seems very happy and content right now.
Thanks, Snapping Turtle.
And he is off. You can see how quickly they disappear in such a short amount of time in shallow water. If you come out here to Wood Lake, you might walk past numerous turtles and snapping turtles and painted turtles and not even know that they are right in front of your face. Pretty cool. Alright, the next turtle we're going to be talking about today is this adorable little guy. And if I just hold it up for you to look at, you might already know what kind of species of turtle this is based on the coloration and the patterns that you see on its skin and its shell. If you guess painted turtle, you're absolutely correct. And they get their name because it looks like somebody came and painted all these amazing colors and designs all over its body. But they're actually just born this way. And you might think, why would an animal want to be so colorful rather than blending in? But they're actually perfectly camouflaged for the home that they live in. These turtles love to live in ponds and lakes and shallow streams, and the above part of their shell, their carapace, is kind of like an olive brown color, kind of a dirty color. Same as our pond water here. So as he's swimming in the water, he's perfectly camouflaged from above. And if he were to be swimming in the water and there might be a big predator fish or another larger turtle underneath that might want to eat him, as they look up, they might just see this orangish coloration that might be the sunlight coming through that water. And all these designs, these ripply designs, could just be the surface of the water moving. So these turtles are perfectly camouflaged and adapted for their ecosystem, which is pretty amazing. Painted turtles are more of a basking turtle. They'll spend maybe about 2 hours a day basking in the sun, which sounds so luxurious to me. But they have to do it not just for enjoyment, but it actually gives them the energy to be able to continue to function and move, to be able to digest their food. Being cold-blooded or ectothermic, they need that energy from the sun to be able to keep their metabolism up. Now this guy has a little bit bigger of a shell, especially underneath, than that snapping turtle. So he would definitely be able to pull his arms, his legs, his tail, his head even inside of the shell for protection. Some of you may have noticed as you're coming out here to enjoy our wetland and our turtles, you've seen some with maybe holes in their shell or cracks, and that is actually pretty common. We have herons here that might try to eat these guys, so they might stab them even through the shell. And these guys actually can heal from a wound like that if it's not too severe, or even maybe a hairline fracture. So for the most part, their shells do a lot for them. Look at him just swimming in the air right now. He's so cute. These guys are perfectly adapted for the water as well. In between his fingers, he has some webbing, and that just kind of acts kind of like a paddle or a duck's foot to really help him swim through that water. But if he's above land, he has these claws to help him move as well. Turtles have lungs, so they actually need to hold their breath while they're underwater. And they can hold it for pretty long, maybe 8 to 12 minutes, enough time to get away from a predator and swim across the pond. However, if you are a Minnesotan, you know that our ponds here in the winter freeze over. They can get maybe a foot, 2 feet, even more thick of ice. So this little guy here, if he needs air, how do you think he gets it in the winter? And if you've seen the movie Frozen 2, you might already know the answer. They are in fact butt breathers. So these guys in the winter, rather than using their lungs to hold air, they actually will be able to use the dissolved oxygen that's in the water, and it will flow through the thin areas in their skin, along their neck, and through their opening or their cloaca, which is pretty amazing that turtles can do that. This one here is probably about a year old, hatched last year. So he's already grown quite a bit, maybe almost doubled in size. If you find a turtle, little guy, this time of year, they're hatching and they'll be making their way to the water. So again, if you see them crossing a road, just help them across the direction they're going. Don't put them in the water, maybe put them close to water and they can decide if and when they're ready to head in. It's always important to wash your hands after handling a turtle. If you see a turtle walking around on land that's much larger in size, that's usually a mama turtle, and she's looking for a place in May or June to lay her eggs. And she's gonna try to find a nice sandy spot that's away from a pond to deposit her eggs. If you know where a nest site is, the best thing you can do is actually try to prevent predation by raccoons and other animals. Most nests, turtle nests, are dug up within the 48 hours after being laid. So if you have maybe thin mesh or wiring, like chicken wire, you can lay that over the hole and kind of cover that with a rock. You want to make sure to uncover that maybe by August 1st so that those hatchlings in there are able to hatch out through that sand and get to a pond. In Minnesota, it's not uncommon though for hatchlings, if they were born towards the end of the summer, it doesn't give them enough time to develop and hatch out of the egg. It usually takes 2 to 3 months for that to happen. And so they'll actually overwinter as little tiny turtles underground, and then they'll emerge in early May, which is pretty amazing that they could survive temperatures even around like 12 degrees. They're very hardy little animals. If you have other questions about these guys that we did not answer for you today in today's creature feature, please go ahead to Wood Lake Nature Center's Facebook page. You can comment in the section below and we would be happy to get back to you. In the meantime, come out to Wood Lake, come check out our amazing boardwalk that's now open. Look for floating logs. That's a great place for painted turtles like this to be hanging out. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Naturalist Paul and we're out here at Wood Lake, right next to our wetland, and we're going to read a couple of stories about wetlands. First one here is Peek at a Pond, and it's going to have some extra little hidden parts to it. We're going to peek at a pond. Peek at a pond. Let's go down to a pond and see what we can find. Let's peek into the water lilies. The water lilies. What could be hiding there? Whoa! It's a croaking, hopping bullfrog. He's pretty excited, doesn't he? Now let's peek behind the cattails. The cattails. What could be hiding there? Whew. It's a whizzing, darting dragonfly. If you've ever been to Wood Lake, you've probably seen dragonflies and you've probably seen lots of cattails. Let's peek under the duckweed. The duckweed! What could be hiding there? Oh, looks like wiggling, squiggling tadpoles. Soon to grow up to be something different. Let's peek behind the floating logs. The floating logs. What could be hiding there? Oh, a sunning, nesting, or resting painted turtle. They love the sun. Now let's peek under the slippery rocks. The slippery rocks. What could be hiding there? Oh, speedy, crawling crayfish. Let's peek under a big leaf. A big leaf! What could be hiding there? Whoa! Sticky, clinging snail. Upside down snail. Let's peek through the damp grass. The damp grass. What could be hiding there? Oh my gosh. It's a peppy, playful newt. Let's peek behind the pondweed. The pondweed. What could be hiding there? A skimming, skating water strider. They like to just scoot along the top of the water. Let's peek under the tiny bubbles. The tiny bubbles? What could be hiding there? Oh, swimming, schooling minnows. Let's peek behind the long branch. The long branch. What could be hiding there? Whoa! Uh-oh, it's a swiftly slithering water snake. We went down to peek at a pond, peek at a pond. We went down to peek at a pond and oh, what we did find. Looks like everyone's shown up here. Dragonfly, the frog, the minnows, the newt, crayfish, the turtle, the snail, the water strider, some more minnows, tadpole, the snake, frog, and there we are, and a dragonfly. Cattails. Wow, what an adventure. Wetlands are full of all kinds of things, so it's always important when you go out to keep your ears open, your eyes open, and just take in everything you possibly can. Good morning, everyone. Naturalist Paul here, ready to read a story all about Turtle Splash, Countdown at the Pond. See what they're up to here. Ten timid turtles lounging in a line. That is 10. Startled by a bullfrog. Looks like one's jumping in. Then there are 9. 9 napping turtles. The day is growing late. A rabbit rustles in the leaves. Oh my gosh, now there's 8. 8! 8 lazy turtles resting without care. A red squirrel scampers by the log. Red squirrels are big time scamperers. 7 still are there. 7. 7 sleepy turtles hear the crunch of sticks. Deer appear beside the shore. Oh, look, a baby deer with the spots, too. Now, there are 6. 6! 6 sunning turtles watching ducklings dive. The mother mallard quacks at them. Quack, quack. Then, there are 5. 5 idle turtles lolling by the shore. Pollywog squirrel by their log. Now, there are 4. 4 drowsy turtles, quiet as can be. A butterfly flutters by. Oh, they do look sleepy. Leaving only 3. 3 carefree turtles beneath a sky so blue. A chickadee chirps in a tree. Chickadee-dee-dee. Now there are only 2. 2 silent turtles. Watch the setting sun. Mosquitoes buzz above their heads. Now, there's only 1. Looks like it's getting dark out. 1 lonely turtle in the fading light. Splash! 10 tired turtles settle for the night. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sleep tight. Wow, what an adventure. All those turtles getting spooked by different things and jumping into the water. Maybe if you come out to Wood Lake or some other pond or marsh, you might see a turtle on a log and see how close you can get watching them. Sometimes they'll jump off pretty quickly. Sometimes you'll get pretty close. It's kind of fun. Thanks a lot, everyone.